Good afternoon, Year 1. So today's date is the 24th of April 2020 and we are still looking at time. So we will be able to tell the time using o'clock and half past. Now yesterday we were looking at o'clock. I'm just going to draw a time on the clock and I would like you to just pause the video and either tell an adult or write down what time is on the clock, okay? So here is your first one. If you just pause the video there, tell either someone at home or write down the answer. Okay. Your second time that I would like you to have a go at reading is this one here. Really think about what we call this. There is a big clue for you that I've left there from yesterday. What time is this? Tell someone at home or write it down. And your last time that I would like you to do is this one. Okay, what is that time? Okay, good job. We are now going to carry on with today's lesson. So I hope you are listening very carefully. So our keywords are still going to be minute hand. Remember, our minute hand is our long hand. Okay, we have our hour hand, which is our short hand. We have the word o'clock, and o'clock is when it is pointing straight to the 12. And we are also going to have a keyword of half past today. Now, half past is when our minute hand isn't pointing to the 12 this time, because that would be o'clock. This time our minute hand is going to be pointing towards the 6. Okay, now this is because if we were to imagine this is our clock and we split it into two parts, we have one part and two parts, okay, that make up a whole. This is our first half. So this is half number 1 and half number 2. If our minute hand is pointing to the 12 and it goes halfway around the clock, it would end up on the 6. This is why we call this half past. So let me show you an example. If we were at school and we had finished getting ready for home time and we were about to leave the classroom, the time would be 3:30, because that's the time that your parents come to pick you up, 3:30. Now, because it's 3:30, that means that our minute hand, not our hour hand, our minute hand needs to be pointing at our 6, because this is halfway. Okay, so there is half past. Now I'm not done yet because it needs to be 3:30. If it was just like this, the clock would be incomplete. It wouldn't be finished. So we need to make sure our hour hand is pointing to the 3, because it is 3:30. If our hour hand was pointing to the 1, it would then be 1:30. That's why it's really important that you make sure you are drawing your hands pointing to the correct place, because otherwise it would read a different time. Okay, so there we go. There's my hour hand. Now our time is telling me that it is 3:30. Okay, I'm going to show you another one. If I had an after school club and I was still in school for an extra hour, so everyone else has gone home at 3:30, but I'm still there for 1 hour, the time would be 4:30. because that's telling me an hour remember our hour hand would have been on the 3. Let me just show you this now. And an hour, so this would have gone from 3 to 4 because we are adding 1 hour. Okay, so it's no longer 3 anymore, and it is now 4. I'm making sure that my lines are pointing directly to the numbers so that there aren't any mistakes. Okay, so this is 4:30. If I was to show you this time, I want you, again, like we did at the beginning of the video, to tell someone at home or write down what time is this clock showing you. Okay, have a think first. I'm just going to give you a few moments to have a think, and then I will go through it with you. So just have a think. Okay, so first of all, we need to look at our 2 different hands. Our minute hand is pointing down to the 6, so it would be 4:30. And then I would need to look at my hour hand because this still isn't finished. My hour hand is pointing to the 10, so it would be 10:30. We don't say 6:30 because our hour hand is pointing to the 10. It is only 10:30 when our minute hand is pointing to the 6. Okay? If our minute hand is pointing to the 12, it is o'clock. If it is pointing to the 6, it is 30:30. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you one more that we'll go through together, and then I will set you some work like I did yesterday using a worksheet. I will also try and find a fun time game that you can play online as well. For those of you that might have an iPad, you might want to play outside of your learning time. Okay, so what time am I showing you here? Think about which hands are pointing where. Okay, what time have I drawn here? I need you to tell somebody or write it down. Okay, so you should have said or written 4:30 because my minute hand is pointing down to the 6 and our hour hand is pointing, let's just double check, to the 7. Okay, so this time is showing us 7:30. Now I'm still using, when I'm writing these, my red and my blue pen so that I don't get confused. If you need to do that to help you, that is okay. Definitely do that if you think it will help. If not, you can just use your normal black pen, but make sure you are writing 4:30, not 6. We say 4:30 when it's pointing to the 6. 7:30. Now actually I'm just going to show you one more thing because this can be a little bit tricky if you notice. I'm going to draw it first. So I'm going to do my 4:30. I'm going to draw it pointing to the 6. And then my hour hand is also pointing to the 6. Have a think about what you think the time might be here, because they're both pointing to the 6. And if I've told you the minute hand is pointing, when it's pointing to the 6 we say 4:30, what do you think we say when both of them are pointing? Okay, so you should have gotten, for this one, you should have gotten 4:30 because it's still, the minute hand is still pointing to the 6. That's not a p for past. 4:30. And because it's pointing to the hour hand is pointing to the 6, the little red hand is pointing to the 6, it is just 6:30. Okay? It's not 6:30, so that'd be a bit silly. It's 6:30. Okay? Any questions, please do let me know, and I hope that I can clarify anything that you might not have understood, but I will attach the work for you to do at the bottom of the video on our school website, okay? Have a good weekend, and hopefully I will speak to some more of you next Friday.